Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Radio Show, a once proud member of the now defunct Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. In this special episode, I sit quietly as guest co-host Michael Wells talks sports with Alex Fleming of the Magic Perspective, as in Orlando Magic. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Hey, welcome to the Life Radio Show. This is your host, Don Smith. I'm sitting in with my guest co-host for this episode, Mr. Michael Wells.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going, Mike?
It's a day.
It's a day. It's good to have you in. It's been a little while, I think, since you've been on the Life.
Oh my gosh, it's probably been like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. I don't know.
Yeah, a little while. Anyway.
It's been at least a couple days.
Yeah, at least a couple days.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you. I brought you in because I'm not much of the sports aficionado.
Okay.
And
that is not shocking. I am not shocked by that.
That is. Well, I wish I could, but I don't have the time. I can't even watch the NFL anymore. I just don't have the time for it.
Really?
Because I am an Eagles fan
Uh-huh.
and have been for a long, long time, not just because of the Super Bowl thing a few years ago. Actually, that was my team when I did have time to watch, and now I don't, so I just not up on anything.
How are you an Eagles fan?
I don't know. I just always liked the Eagles. Back in the Randall Cunningham days, I became an Eagles fan. That was, what's that?
That was a while ago.
That's a while ago. That's what, mid-'90s, something like that?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, the reason I'm talking sports and not the usual silliness that I talk is Alex Fleming is on the phone with us. I thought he was. I thought he was. It got quiet. He's watching the game, so it's okay.
Yeah, no, I was wondering how you were Eagles fans too, because they played horrible today.
I did not. Well, I didn't watch. I haven't watched in a while, so I can keep being a fan if I don't see them do terrible.
There's a picture of them going around. They recovered a fumble, and they were losing like 17-3 at the time, and they did a pose in the end zone or something like that after a fumble recovery. The defense did.
Russell Wilson was 50% today, 13 of 25 for 200 yards, 1 touchdown, and interception. He's got 2 of those in these last 3 games. That's unbecoming of a potential MVP candidate. Rashard Penny, 129 yards and a touchdown. He had a better day than Chris Carson, who fumbled twice.
Yeah. Whew. What was the final score of that game?
17-3.
17-3. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that was actually the final score. Do you think who is your pick for NFL MVP right now?
All right, I'm a big fan of Lamar Jackson, and I'm glad he's proven a lot of ignorant people wrong. But on that same token, I still got Russell Wilson.
Gotcha.
He's the only quarterback in NFL history to have a winning season 8 straight seasons. He's only been in the league 8 straight seasons.
Yeah.
He hasn't missed a game. He's durable. He did beat the formerly undefeated 49ers, and he has the Seattle Seahawks not again in Super Bowl contention. They're definitely making the playoffs. Has a better winning percentage than Aaron Rodgers, and hasn't been running the football a lot, but when he does, it's for first downs and game-sealing field goals. He's more important to his team than just about anybody, including Lamar Jackson.
I would honestly have to agree with you on that. I love Lamar, but I have to agree with you on Russell Wilson. I hate the Seahawks. I've always hated Seattle. Well, I don't even hate this. It's more or less I hated the bandwagon fans that jumped on them when they started on their run. But he is one of the most durable quarterbacks in the league, and he is just clutch in everything, no matter what. I feel like he's...
Does that, as men, make us feel funny when we say a man is durable?
Yeah. Very durable.
He can take a lot. That's a little off. Alex, before we get too far into all the sports, Alex, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and because you host a podcast with Eric Wilson, right?
Yes, I do. First and foremost, I'm originally from Champaign, Illinois. Spent a little bit of time in Chicago as an upbringing. Loved Doctor Who as a child and Banana Man on PBS. Grew up military background. Moved to Texas without my choice because I was still a kid and we didn't have a voice. Not like these millennials nowadays. Grew up in Texas for my upbringing. Went to college at the Amarillo College and University of North Texas. Got married, had a baby. You know how that go. I'm not missing her. The wife, that is. Moved to Florida, took a gamble on myself, and I'm currently the host of Fantasy and Flavors, a fantasy football show, and I do the Magic Perspective with Eric Wilson. I covered the Orlando Magic.
Okay, I thought it was the Orlando Magic. I didn't want to give Mike any incorrect information, but I thought that's what you would. The Orlando Magic is who you were tied in with.
Oh, sir, I am so boring. Not only do I cover the Orlando Magic, I write for the Florida Sun Review, Central Florida's oldest black living newspaper, and I write and contribute to the Bucks Report for the Tampa Bay Bucks, and every now and then I am a guest host on the Sports Web with Peter Blake in St. Petersburg. So yeah, I'm a boring guy.
Oh, that's not boring. That's a
that's
a full schedule,
cool.
and you have kids. Oh my gosh.
Kid.
Hey, kid. Yeah.
Kid. But still, that's
Okay.
one more than I have. So,
when I found out that you covered the Orlando Magic, what did you think when I think it was ownership was like 2 or 3 years ago when they said they're going to have a winner by like 2023 or something like a 7-year plan or something like that? You remember that?
I remember that.
What did you think when they said that?
The whole Dwight Howard fiasco.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Gentlemen, ladies, everyone listening, you have to understand that Dwight Howard, really messed this team up. And they were in a 7-year drought. And now that they're out of that drought, they have an excellent coach by the name of Steve Clifford. He's got these guys playing defense. Never mind the 6-9 record. That record is misleading. First and foremost, there's 82 games in the NBA season. It's early. And last year, they went on a 29-9 run to not only make the playoffs, but scare the hell out of the defending champion Toronto Raptors, which they play this Friday at the Amway.
I do remember that. I was surprised last year they made the playoffs, but it was kind of one of those things that I wasn't shocked at the same time, just because of the fact that you guys got Aaron Gordon, you'd have Fournier. I can never pronounce his last name. I always love those two.
Nikola Vucevic.
Yep. Oh, God. I wanted him to get traded when LeBron, because I'm a Cavs fan. I've been a Cavs fan since Mark Price played, and I was hoping you guys would get rid of him when LeBron was playing in Cleveland, because I wanted him so bad. He's so amazing.
So you're a Cleveland Cavaliers and Browns fan?
No, not a Browns. I'm a Bengals fan. I'm a Bengals fan. I'm a Cincinnati other than basketball. If Cincinnati had a professional basketball team, NBA team, I'd be a
whatever they would be.
Whatever they would be at that point.
Cincinnati Felons.
Pretty much.
They have the Bengals already. So.
Aww.
But it's kind of true.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of teams that can be said about in the NFL.
I don't think the Bengals are going to be there much longer. I think they got 5 years left on that lease, and I think they're going to go.
Really?
Yep.
It's funny because London needs an NFL team, and if anybody ever needed a change of scenery, it's definitely the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And honestly, yeah, no, they do need. The thing is, I hate ownership. Their ownership's absolutely ridiculous. Mike Brown, they are very profitable, but they do not give a dish about winning at all, period. I feel like this year has come down to they wanted Marvin Lewis gone, Andy Dalton's gone, and now we're 0-11. And it's...
let me be completely honest, because I don't want to be rude, but Marvin Lewis had to go.
No, I agree. I honestly agree with you. I stuck with him for a really long time. And the past 2 years we had him, I was like, he's got to go. But then he's gone, and now we're 0-11. It's just that's how bad it is. It just makes it seem like how much he actually had that team somewhat together. I guess.
I guess. It's better than this. Yeah.
I don't know.
Since you're a Cincinnati fan and not a Cleveland fan, do you think you have the team good enough to go 0-16?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they'll have that perfect record.
Absolutely. We didn't win. This is how bad our team was. This is how bad our team is. Okay, Pittsburgh was a 6.5-point favorite going into today's game, and they had their starting center out. They had their 2 starting wide receivers out, and somebody big deal out today, and they were still a 6.5-point favorite above us. And they beat us Pittsburgh beat us with their third string quarterback.
Devin Hodges, yes, because Mason Rudolph was benched.
Yes. So that's how bad it was.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
That's bad.
Like, I feel bad. Like, I think we have 1 rushing touchdown on the season by a running back.
Wow.
So
Two, because Bernard has 1, and I believe Mixon has 1.
Is
Mixon
it?
got off to a horrible start.
I remember they got their first one. No, Dalton has 1, I think. Dalton had 1 at the beginning of the season. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up again.
And he's not even starting anymore.
Nope. And they screwed him. They should have traded him at the deadline. That's why I hate ownership. I hate everything. Like, at the deadline, you had the ability to get picks, and you kept Dalton, and for whatever reason, you're not going to trade Green, and you have to rebuild, and you're not rebuilding. Like, you trade those at the deadline to get something, and they didn't, because you knew you weren't going to play Dalton the rest of the year. You knew that.
And you're not getting A.J. Green back because he's a free agent after this year.
Exactly.
He's gone.
So I don't know. They're probably going to franchise tag him.
Why would you franchise a player that was, A, isn't happy there, B, is not going to play for you for an entire season?
Mike Brown's an idiot.
So you're going to pay the player to be on the bench? I want to be a part of Eddie Bengals.
He's gone on record saying,
on
I think he said that they didn't trade him because his jersey sells. And I was like, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
That's brilliant right there. That's marketing.
That's just only caring about money.
Yeah, that's probably all they can get. I'm sure they're not selling a lot of tickets right now to watch their 0-16 season.
You know what's sad? The Cincinnati Bengals have a better attendance than the Washington Redskins.
Yeah. Yep. This is true. Did you see the video that came out about, was it Haskins pleading to his O-line? Did you see that video?
That was last week.
Yep.
It was sad.
Yes. And they didn't even give it. I feel like, I personally don't like, I'm not an Ohio State guy, so I didn't think he'd that great in the NFL, but I felt really, really bad for him at that moment. They just didn't seem like they cared. That entire franchise, that entire team doesn't seem like they care.
Against the Jets, no less. That's heartbreaking.
Well, I can't remember the score of that game. They got blown out, I feel like.
They got beat bad by the Jets.
Yeah.
It was, there's a lot of low points in the NFL this year. Miami was a low point for a start, and now all of a sudden, you remember that movie with Tom Hanks and he was a sea captain or something, and a bunch of African pirates?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the Miami Dolphins are Tom Hanks, and the head guy, the African pirate, he's the Cincinnati Bengal. It was his ship now.
It is, but it's true. I didn't.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but I digress. I'm sorry, gentlemen. The Magic Perspective is basically pregame, halftime, and postgame analysis over the basketball team, who they're playing, inside info, and we offer interviews with the players and the coaches that you can see on YouTube. So it's a very easy way to follow the game through a 15-minute trial, the entire perspective of pre, half, and post, with stats as well. So it's quite efficient. I think it's going to catch on because more people should be doing it.
What's it called again?
The Magic Perspective.
Magic Perspective. Okay, write that down.
That's pretty cool. How'd you get into doing that? How did that come about?
Okay. Without me sounding long-winded,
Oh, we got time to kill. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I took a gamble on myself and started doing some radio. Someone said I have a radio voice, so I decided to pursue that. I got a little bit better, but I was covering football and not basketball. Since I'm local here in the Orlando area, my co-host, Paul Hollywood Edwards, I hope he's feeling better, he took me to a Magic game, with some media credentials, and I was writing down stats like it was natural, and my first interview was Greg Popovich, and I was like, you know what? I probably should start doing this because, I could start making some headway. And now I'm addicted. I love the NBA lifestyle, the people you meet, everything that comes to it. And I'm covering the team for the full season, and I befriended a gentleman by the name of Eric Wilson. And even though he's an Eagles fan, and we don't see eye to eye on everything, I teach him a little bit about football, and we hang out, and we talk basketball, and It's great. It's a good combination.
I like that you said he was an Eagles fan, but you're having to teach him a little bit about football.
Wait, did you say your first interview was Popovich?
Yes, my first interview was Greg Popovich.
Oh my gosh, how was that?
He's intimidating.
Is he?
He's scary. He's intimidating. He's the GOAT. He's a 5-time NBA Finals champion. He's an excellent person on and off the court. He is very intimidating.
I cannot. I could imagine talking to him. It would be very. I think he is the greatest. To me, he is the GOAT when it comes to coaching. I think he does more with less than anybody.
Oh goodness! Before Duncan, he was winning in '96. Whenever they had Duncan his rookie year, and then they were bad, but Duncan was still in MVP candidacy. He was 5th that year, his rookie year. That's when the Bulls were still good. That's how long ago this was.
Yeah.
And 5 championships. It would have been 6 if someone didn't rob him. Thank you, Ray Allen. But yeah, Popovich just, great overall. And it's very nerve-wracking because if you ask him a stupid question, you know how basketball players will put other players on a poster? Oh, he'll give you a mic check.
Oh,
he'll definitely shut you down.
I could definitely imagine that. Definitely. Now, my question is, I'm assuming basketball. What is your favorite sport? Is it basketball or football, or what is your go-to sport?
I am a football junkie. I love football. Now, basketball is starting to become a passion. I like basketball. I love football. How can I put this? I like Scarlett Johansson. I love Shakira.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
That is a good way to put. Yeah.
And what is your thoughts? Okay, I'll go basketball route because I'm kind of the opposite. Like, I used to love football, now I'm starting to love basketball more. What is your thoughts when LeBron went and did the big 3 with D Wade and Chris Bosh? What was your thoughts on that when it changed? Because it really, him doing that kind of changed the landscape of the NBA in the sense of what it takes to be a winner at that point. Like, you have to have 3 go-to pieces in order to win the champions. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not going to completely disagree with you. LeBron gets most of the blame because he was flamboyant with it, and we don't need a Sports Center special telling everybody that you're going to Miami and you're leaving, Cleveland. I mean, that's a rational decision. But if people look back just a little bit longer ago, Kevin Garnett left the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Ray Allen left, I believe, was the Milwaukee Bucks to go and play with Paul Pierce in Boston. Mm-hmm. And they made it work that first year with a little sprinkle of Rondo. But LeBron James gets all of the credit, if you will, because he's a lightning rod. Either you love him or you hate him. And you got to think, that first year he went to Miami, they were good, but they lost to Dallas. That's Dirk's only ring, and he had to learn how to win. He was carrying the team in Cleveland, but got swept against San Antonio. So when he went to Miami and he had backup and Chris Bosh came with him, he became a better player. I necessarily didn't have a problem with it other than the fact that I just don't like LeBron James. Gotcha. I respect him as a person. Absolutely. And I love his game. I have nothing against him basketball-wise. I'm just not a big fan.
Gotcha. That's how I looked at it, too. When I, me being going back to because I love baseball, too, I never saw Ken Griffey Jr. win anything, a World Series or anything, and it was like having one of the best players of his generation, really of all time, never win something. Me being a Cavs fan, I was not sad that LeBron left and went to go play at Miami just because of the fact that you looked at the NBA landscape. I think at the time the Lakers had Artest, I want to say Gasol and Kobe. Then you had the Celtics had Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce. So you had to have 3 to win. That was the landscape.
Absolutely. Because if you didn't have 3, if you had 2, you could fight, but you couldn't compete. Yes. You couldn't win. It was a mandatory 3 that had to get the job done. And I do blame LeBron James for grabbing friends, if you will, because even though Golden State drafted all of their players, I get that. But once all their players developed, they came almost impossible to beat. And then you had people like Kevin Durant was like, you know what, I'm going to get some cheap rings because if LeBron could do it, I could do it too.
Mm-hmm. I don't know which one's worse though, LeBron's or Kevin's, because you went to the team that you couldn't beat, that you had down 3-1 in the conference finals to go. Like, that to me was absolutely absurd.
Are you an 80s baby?
85.
Okay, so you know that old saying: if you can't beat them, join them.
Yep. True. Yeah, but to go to the team that you had down 3-1, that had the best regular season record, that's
a lot of people nowadays suffer from this lack of integrity.
No, this is
That we
true.
were built on. G.I. Joe, Transformers, GoBots, Thundercats, Ho. And this new generation of players and people, they're all about the money. They're all about the limelight. They don't really care about this thing called respect.
Yeah.
Because they figure they get the respect if they got the money and they got the limelight. So that's why you have a lot of people. I can't say turncoat. That's the word I want to use, but I won't use it. But that's why you have a lot of players making business decisions that's going to be best for them.
Yeah. What did you? Are you surprised Anthony's back in the league, Carmelo?
No, I'm happy that he's back. I'm surprised that he couldn't make an NBA roster last year, considering that he was still player than he was playing better than a lot of NBA players. It kind of makes me think, why exactly are the factors for some of these people who we know are more talented not on sports teams?
Yep.
Now, I know that's going to be an echo chamber to somebody else that shall remain nameless, but when you look at some of the talent in our sports today, and you're thinking, why didn't they grab this guy, or why didn't they sign Carmelo a long time ago? There's politics in sports, and it's sad because it used to be all about the game, and it's not anymore.
True. Completely agree. Completely agree. He could have played on any team. I feel like almost any team last year, and this year
The Bulls could have used his help. I know Indiana could have used his help. The second Oladipo went down.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine if Russell would have had Carmelo as another point outlet. Paul George probably wouldn't have left.
Yeah.
You could go up and down the line. Hell, Portland could have used him last year when Dalla Dame and CJ were actually doing their thing, and Nurkic wasn't hurt. I mean, they're hurting right now. I think they're like 5-11.
I think so. It's like, I'm gonna look it up now. I'm interested.
Only team that probably really didn't need him was Golden State, but I mean, hell, that's Golden State.
Well,
and look what they're doing now. I'm not comfortable with the fact that they might get the first pick.
Me either. It's almost like, let's just have a tank season. Let's get that maybe get that first overall pick, and then we'll have Steph. Then we'll have Clay. Was Clay signed long term? I can't remember. I don't know if he's signed long term or not.
I believe they have to sign Clay. They already signed Curry, and they signed Green on a discount.
Yeah.
So if they get the first pick and they can retain Clay, they'll be right back next year.
Well, I'm waiting for them to trade D'Angelo. That's what I'm waiting for.
They just got D'Angelo, which makes me wonder, what are they going to do once everybody's healthy?
Yeah.
Are they going to do the 2-guard, 3-forward? Because Draymond Green is an actual forward. He's got forward that center listed, but he's an actual forward.
Oh, yeah. I think when they realized Clay went down, I think it was just going to be a trade piece eventually down the road for something. I don't know what. But I feel like that's what that was. Just a max contract you can get out of the way for something. I don't know. But it was the most interesting trade and most interesting thing I felt like in the past NBA offseason was Durant and Russell.
I'm live on the air, aren't I? Because I was going to spill the beans about something.
No, actually, you're not.
Yeah.
This is being pre-recorded. We usually are live on the radio, but since my radio show's only live on Tuesdays, and we weren't able to coordinate. This is going to be pre-recorded, so why not?
Then I have a confession. I feel a little bit safer now. I have a confession. Now, Lord knows I could be wrong. I am not a Nostradamus, but I think the Knicks did the right thing by not offering a max contract to Kevin Durant. Hear me out on this. He's had an ACL tear, and then he ruptured it again last year in the finals. Now, of course, they're not sitting him this year so he can get healthy. I get that. But what if he doesn't come back the same? Or what if he's injury prone? The Nets are going to be on the books for 4 more years for a contract that they can never fully fulfill. Now, Lord knows Madison Square Garden and James Dolan needs all the help they can get. But by not investing that money in Kevin Durant, they can build for the future. And if Durant doesn't come back 100% healthy or is injury prone, the Knicks dodge the bullet.
Yo, but that absolutely. I mean, your Achilles injury. Nobody's ever really. I feel like nobody's ever really the same after that. Like with DeMarcus. I mean, DeMarcus tore his Achilles, came back. Then he tore his ACL this year.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because like you're going to favor that leg more. You're going to favor some part of the body more, put more stress somewhere else. You're never the same after Achilles injury, ever. And I totally agree with that.
You can probably get away with it once. You can't get away with it twice.
I feel like it was them. I'm in the same boat. I feel like the Nets are going to hate themselves in 2 years.
Well, there's already friction in the locker room with Kyrie Irving. They're saying that he's difficult to work with. He's a little bit of a me guy. You know, it's all about me, me, me. They lost 4 of their last 6 games until their recent 2 wins without Kyrie Irving, which makes me think if they were good last year with D'Angelo Russell and you trade D'Angelo and you pick up Kyrie Irving and now you're not that good, but the team is basically the same. The only real difference is probably the players. Now, keep in mind, Boston was good before Kyrie even came. I give you that. And they were good while Kyrie was there. But they regressed because instead of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, they only made it to a divisional. So I'm thinking that's a bad legacy and look at Kyrie Irving. So you got a disgruntled star plus a player that may not come back 100% healthy, and the Nets are on the books for more than $250 million.
Yep. And Boston's now, 11-3, 11-4, something like that. I can't remember.
Kemba went down with a very nasty concussion that happened Friday night, and it was friendly fire. He ran into a teammate. But I'm thinking Kemba is going to make a full recovery. Boston has been snake bitten. First game last year, Gordon Hayward, leaving Utah, going to Boston, breaks his leg, game 1. And then when he comes back, he's still in minutes from Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who Jaylen Brown, I believe, is a star if he ever gets the full playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you take away Kyrie Irving, they got a good rotation, and they have a very good coach.
Oh, I think he's one of the best, Brad Stevens.
Absolutely.
I think he's the heir to Pop when it comes to best coach in the NBA.
Popovich?
Yeah. I think once Pop's gone, I think it's Brad Stevens, the best coach in the NBA. And it's going to be like that for a really long time. I mean, he took Butler to back-to-back like national championship games in college, and to get him, he gets everybody to play. He gets everybody to get in his system and play. He gets the most out of his players.
You're absolutely right, and I agree with you. And I'm a big fan of Stevens. They're almost like the Spurs East.
Yes. And then I've always thought about this when it comes to Gordon. If Isaiah Thomas wasn't traded for Kyrie Irving, that pass, Gordon never gets hurt.
You're absolutely right. I love it. I'm in my car, and somebody's car next to me.
Yeah. Yep, we hear.
Oh, there's no rest for the wicked, gentlemen.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, we're going to have to take a little break. We're going to take probably about 5 minutes, and we'll be back here shortly with Alex Fleming and Michael Wells. I might turn the tables on you and start talking some news stories because this is the quietest I've ever been on any show I've ever done.
You've said like 7 words.
Yes, Mr. Smith, this is your show, and you haven't been saying
Hey,
much.
you guys are doing a fine job. This is my show, as in I have to fill at least an hour, and if you guys keep talking and I can sit here and smile, I am perfect with that. So, but no, we're going to take a little break, and I'll be back. We'll hit some news stories so that I might actually get to do some talking. But I'm a facilitator. I hook up 2 people that are like-minded and let them chat. That's really all I do anymore. So, but we'll be back here just in a few minutes.
pervious, systematic, feel the swagger. Opposition cannot stop this tidal run. Premonition bearing down this smoking gun. Smoking gun. Monsters of the Midway. Monsters of the Midway. Conviction, fearless, tradition, immortality. Brutality, vindicators, sovereignty, your defense.
Hey, this is Don Smith from the Life Radio Show. Do you like telling jokes? Are you the class clown? Do your friends always tell you you're funny? You want to prove them wrong? Well, nearly every Sunday, Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's Oregon District brings you Wiley's Sunday Comics. You can be the one on stage making people laugh. Or not. All you have to do is send an email to wileysundaycomics@gmail.com and follow the instructions in the reply email, and you can tell jokes at Ohio's oldest comedy club.
Hey man, this is Donnie Baker at Wiley's Comedy Club, and you're listening to WWSU 106.9. I swear to God.
All right, welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, although you wouldn't know it from the last half hour. I'm the very quiet host. It's all right. My guest co-host, Michael Wells, has been taking over for me in my absence and doing a fantastic job. I really appreciate you coming in, Mike, because I would have been sitting here quiet and would let Alex do all the talking. That would have been really weird.
I think I blacked out. I'm sorry. No, just I don't know where I am anymore.
Yeah. Alex Fleming is my guest from Orlando, Florida, and a couple of different podcasts down there, and a lot of different things that a lot of hats he wears, which is always fun. Talking to people that wear a lot of hats, but we're going to hit some news stories because it's that time of the show. Where what we do with this, Alex, is I've like randomly gone through and picked some weird news stories out over the past week. I usually do it with a lot of vodka in my system. That way, I don't remember most of them. So that so that when I hit these news stories and we get to discuss some weird aspect of them, and a lot of times I don't remember why I picked one out. I don't remember what they are, and I'm as at a loss as everybody else as why we're discussing this. And sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's a big waste of time, but we do it anyway because this is the Life Radio Show.
Let's do it. Sounds great.
All right, a Mexican state captured a Guinness World Record by cooking up a carnitas taco measuring 335 feet long. Organizer Alejandro Paredes Resendiz, whose uncle is the head of the Gastronomical Council for the state of Querétaro, said he started planning the record attempt in 2011, and his dreams came to fruition Sunday when local chefs assembled the 335-foot-long carnitas taco from 3,322 pounds of seasoned pork meat and 2,646 pounds of corn tortillas. Resendiz said he decided on carnitas tacos for the attempt after researching the most popular foods in the state, which is known for its 7 varieties of seasoned pork carnitas. Resendiz said Sunday's event required 8 months of preparation, and the taco was split into portions after being officially measured and was served to the crowd of about 15,000 spectators. The previous record holder was a 246-foot taco assembled in the Mexican state of Guadalajara.
That's a lot of dead pigs right there.
That is definitely a lot of dead pigs and a hell of a taco right there.
In America, that's called the Taco Bell Big Box.
Yeah. There you go. That's
what blows my mind is there was a record before that record. You know, like
absolutely. Well, yeah. There's always got to be a record. I mean, eventually they'll go back to where the record was actually just a normal sized taco. And then it goes from there. It depends on how far you trace it back.
He stared at that guy making that first taco and was like, I've got something here, boys.
I
gotta beat
this.
this.
Dumping meat with like one of those little tractor trucks. You know, they just open up the taco shell, the tortilla, the corn tortilla, and just like dump the pork. I mean, how exactly do you put 2,000 plus pounds of pork inside of a taco?
Yeah, it takes a while. It would take a long time to.
I would say a shirt cannon gun. I don't know. That's beyond me.
Yeah, that would be perfect. That'd be able to. If you just aim it, they're direct. Yeah.
You ever gotten shot with pork from a gun like that?
I've been shot by a potato gun, but never a pork carnitas gun. That's what sounds a little more tasty than a potato.
Pork. I've never been shot by pork.
I am not going to lie. I am slightly aroused and hungry at the same time.
That's what I was going for.
Okay, well, I got to go. That's
right.
creepy. You got me.
Cut.
And we're done. No. I like the Guinness World Record stories because so many of them are so ridiculous that it's like you can have a Guinness World Record for doing anything so long as you're the first one to do it. Just pick something that nobody in the world would ever think to do, and if you can do that, you can get a record for it.
I own the Guinness World Record for telling people I own a Guinness World Record.
Yep. How many people do you have to? What is the record? How many people do you have to tell in order to get that? Because I'm beating it.
Ew.
Well, I'm excited and hungry too, Mike.
Well, I'm thinking if there's a lot of Guinness World Records out there that haven't been beaten yet, you got some nasty individuals on this planet. Imagine somebody defecating for 3 straight blocks. I'm sure that's a Guinness World Record, but who really wants that? So,
yeah.
He probably ate the taco. He ate the taco.
He ate the 335-foot carnitas taco, and that was the after result is the second Guinness World Record. Because would it have to be continuous?
It'd have to be a straight line.
Could he have to like come back and finish it in the morning after his coffee, or I don't
know.
Well,
I guess you could do it like the white stripes they have on highways.
Yeah, just a little, the spritz at a time. That's.
I'm not hungry anymore.
No, good. That's. Yeah, we had to reel you back in, Mike. That's. A 14-year-old girl in India set a Guinness World Record when she donned roller skates and a blindfold to travel 1,312 feet in 51 seconds. I'm not going to even try her name. She was presented with the Guinness certificate after officials verified her Thursday morning accomplishment in Hubali was the fastest journey on roller skates blindfolded by a female. She was given the goal of 60 seconds by Guinness, and she hit the 51-second mark on her third and final attempt. The girl, who already holds titles in the Asia Book of Records and the India Book of Records, thanked her family and her coach for the successful attempt. She needed a coach to put on a blindfold and roller skates.
I do that every day.
Now, this one requires just a little bit of skill. It sounds like a stupid world record, but you try skating about 2 blocks blindfolded and not run into anything. You know.
Oh yeah, I'd never do. I wouldn't. I wouldn't even have to be blindfolded.
I can't even do that with my car. I run into everything with my car, let alone blindfolded.
Oh, you even not blindfolded? You still can't drive your car without running into stuff?
It's weird.
Now, I know
Okay.
a couple of straightways in Florida. I could have that if I was blindfolded in the car. I feel sorry for anybody who's in there with me, but I just
Yeah, but that's going to be the next record: is the distance driven in a car blindfolded.
12 feet.
Yeah. I would say go out to the
It's
desert.
funny.
Go out to the desert somewhere. Until you hit a dune, you're good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's actually true.
You could really get a good. Go out to like the salt flats out in.
I want to drop comedy and just do this the rest of my life. Just try to
Guinness
break that
World
record. Yeah. What do you do for a living? Just stuff and things.
Yep.
Blindfolded tacos.
Yeah, blindfolded taco making. That's going to be the next Guinness.
I got
World
this
Record
pork
right
gun.
there.
What are you talking about?
blindfolded taco making.
Yeah.
That actually sounds fun. I could
Yeah.
do that.
With a pork gun. You have to have the carnitas shooter, which is like the salad shooter, only more velocity.
Carnita shooter? That sounds like a porn. Anyways.
That it does. Hey, we'll stick with food. A Maine school is celebrating the 43rd anniversary of a Twinkie that has been on display at the school since being unwrapped by a science teacher. George Stevens Academy in Blue Hill said the Tinky. Either way, the Twinkie, originally unwrapped by teacher Roger Benatti in 1976 as part of a lesson on food preservatives, is marking its 43rd year at the school. The school said the Twinkie is still the same size and shape as a fresh snack cake, but its color has faded to gray and its texture has turned rough. The Twinkie was on display at Benatti's classroom until he retired in 2004 and passed it along to Libby Rosemeyer, the school's dean of students and one of the students who was in his class for the original Twinkie lesson.
Okay, I will say this. If there's a zombie apocalypse and there's no food left, at least I know where Twinkie's at.
You know where there's one. It's gray and a little. It's not very spongy anymore, but
the fact that a Twinkie is spongy says a lot about a Twinkie.
You just compared that Twinkie to an old cougar still looking for a date. I don't want that.
Gray and spongy. They get that way at a certain age.
I'm not going to live that long, so I'm cool with
That's
it.
true. I'm not going to live long enough to see a zombie apocalypse or to have to eat an old Twinkie. Sometimes you have to eat a 43-year-old Twinkie. They're very appreciative of it.
A 43-year-old Twinkie is actually much better than like a 60 or 70-year-old Twinkie. Imagine if you were the last
That's true.
The only Twinkie left was a 60 or 70-year-old. You happy about that?
I mean, we're talking about eating pizza here.
Sorry, Mike, I have to keep bleeping you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. This is going on live.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I might just make it a non-live and
Oh,
just put it out
shit.
over the podcast.
Why did you ask me to be on here? You know who I am as an individual.
That's true.
We're not on the
I
radio.
guarantee you, if you let that play and you beep that out, everybody's going to know what the hell he said.
Oh, yeah, well, that's half the fun of it, because I don't even beep them out. I just reverse it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's all I do is I get in there and I reverse the audio, so you would have just said me so in reverse. I think we're going to release this as a non-live episode.
If we were in the radio, I would not have said so. I would have said cat.
Yeah, that makes it all better then, I guess.
It does.
Okay, cool.
But to be fair, I wouldn't eat that either.
Yeah, but I was going to say, when they get to 60 or 70 years old, if they're gray and spongy, just take the diaper off. Oh, now we got gray. My apologies for that one. The makers of popular sandwich spread Nutella announced a contest to win a 2-night stay at a pop-top hotel themed around the hazelnut spread. The Hotella Nutella will operate for only a single weekend in January, and the Napa Valley, California accommodation will be open to only 3 contest winners with 1 guest each. The contest, which calls on applicants to submit a 1-minute video explaining why they should be chosen, offers prizes of 2 nights at the Hotella Nutella, round-trip airfare, transportation from the airport to the hotel, and a Nutella breakfast experience. "Quote unquote breakfast experience each morning of January 10th to 12th stay. The videos will be judged based on creativity, passion for Nutella, and connection to breakfast," the company said. Oh.
If you say Hotello, Nutella, whatever,
Hotel and Nutella.
Mr. Planner comes to life. Peanut.
I heard that too. I was like, did he really just say hotel and Nutella?
That's what they called it.
Hotel and Nutella.
That's I'm not trademarking that. That's their word for it.
Sounds like a really cool, like,
I can
international
almost
song.
guarantee, without a shadow of a doubt, that a chick is winning that contest.
For sure.
Oh yeah. She can bring a guest, so somebody might get lucky and get their Nutella.
Exactly.
Spread.
Hotel and Nutella, Nutella.
Breakfast spread. So I'm thinking, it's something in the contest.
Yeah, got to have a nice breakfast spread every now and then.
I wake up till noon. I don't.
Well,
It's a brunch
breakfast
for me.
Yeah. You have your brunch spread. Get your Nutella off for brunch.
Hotel and Nutella. Oh, I can't. I'm going to try to win that contest.
Go for it. Go for it. I'll get you the details after the show.
Okay.
The owner of a traveling petting zoo said a kangaroo is on the loose in Mississippi after escaping from her enclosure. John Mark Johnson said the 4-year-old female kangaroo hopped a fence in Guntown about 3 p.m. Tuesday. If it's in Guntown, just shoot the damn thing. And was last seen about 5:30 p.m. that same day. She's possibly in Guntown, Saltillo. You might have to broaden. Sorry, you might even broaden it to Baldwin or Tupelo, Johnson told the North Mississippi Daily Journal. I'm not sure exactly where she is, because if he was sure, he would catch her. Johnson, who owns the G&J Traveling Petting Zoo, said the kangaroo is not currently a part of his attraction because she's not real friendly. The owner warned members of the public not to attempt to approach the 50 to 60-pound animal and instead alert authorities.
Can you imagine, like, being on a bender the night before, walking outside and be like, what the fuck did I just walk into? Sorry, frick. I forgot. We got to reverse that.
Yeah, I don't think we're making it a live.
God, I can't. I'm sorry.
I actually had a different thought. I was thinking that kangaroo was being assaulted and needed to run away.
Yeah.
Pulled a Tina Turner and got out as soon as possible.
There you go. Yeah, she's not real friendly. It's the Ike and Tina Kangaroo Petting Zoo. I said be nice to the children.
Eat the food, kangaroo.
Man, if I had a pet kangaroo, I don't even know what I'd do.
Pet it?
Nah.
No, you wouldn't?
No.
You'd try to climb in its pouch.
Probably.
If I had a pet kangaroo, I'd be putting up for boxing promotion.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just the old.
Remember that video of that kangaroo holding that guy's dog? Do you remember that last year?
Oh, yeah, and he went over and punched it in the
Yeah,
head.
the kangaroo was like, what did you just hit me?
See, I don't know sports, but I know kangaroo punching videos, Mike.
It's a very odd fetish. But
I think kangaroo punching might be the name of this episode.
Kangaroo punching.
Kangaroo punching. That's also a point of this show, is to come up with dumb titles for the show. So,
since we're talking about kangaroo punches, did you see how Deontay Wilder hit Ortiz last night?
No,
Ortiz
I meant to watch the video of that, and I missed it.
Oh, gosh. Deontay Wilder hit this man so hard, you could see his face while he's on the deck, and he looked like Jesus Christ hit him twice.
Jesus. What round was it?
It was early. It didn't last long. I know it didn't make it to the seventh, but yeah, it was one of those rounds where Deontay was Wilder, and Ortiz just took that punch and looked like, somebody stole a package from him.
I kind of want to watch this right now.
Yeah, I have not had a chance to watch boxing in a long time. That is a sport that I will watch every now and then. It's just been a long time since I've had the opportunity to.
I believe Floyd Mayweather is going to be making a comeback.
Yeah, did you see Dana
okay, cool.
White did a something on his Instagram about making a comeback, like posted about Floyd Mayweather coming back. Keep in mind, I don't like Floyd Mayweather, but at the same time, he's never lost a fight, so I respect him in a way.
Yeah.
So that's how I've always viewed Floyd Mayweather. Like, I don't like him, but the man's never lost. So
I think a lot of people hate Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
They don't like people who they feel are probably more educated than, and the fact that he's flamboyant and he wants his money. If you and I had a third grade education but was making millions of dollars, I think if somebody approached us in the third grade, we would have dropped out of school and done the exact same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, actually, one of my favorite quotes is from a boxer. It's Mike Tyson, and if the quote goes, it's like, the worst thing you could do to somebody young is give them instant success.
Yeah, that's true. That's why as comics it takes forever, and we usually don't get there.
Thanks, Don.
I'm just saying, I'm in the same boat. It's all right. But no, I do like boxing. Have you ever seen the series of fights between it's Marquez Vasquez fights? Oh, those were brilliant. Those are two. They weren't heavyweight. I think they might have been featherweights. But those two, just the best 4 matches because they kept doing rematches, and this was back probably 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more, and just fantastic. I have never seen two people just go at it like that because I don't like watching heavyweight boxing as much because there's a lot more hugging and grappling than there is swinging, and watching the little guys, those two especially, was phenomenal. That was just nonstop action right from the beginning. So I do enjoy those kinds of boxing matches.
Do you watch MMA at all or no?
I don't.
Gotcha.
I don't.
I'm not a big fan of grown men clutching and hugging each other and wrestling each other to the ground either.
Right.
Because I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 2 years, so I actually thoroughly enjoy. I look at it from the perspective of like, I know what they're trying to do. Like, don't get me wrong, I've never got anywhere with it, nor you got to do this for years. But I understand. Like, I look at it as like almost like boxing is like a chess match in a way.
Right.
You're setting up.
Well,
it's kind of like when they're on the ground doing the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stuff or wrestling. That's also a chess match. You do this, I do this. You do this, I do this. It's
you get countered. And,
yeah. I thoroughly enjoy watching it. But
I have watched it before. It's just been a long time since I have.
And honestly, that's how I choke out my girlfriend in bed. I'm like, listen.
So you're watching for sexual pointers.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a whole different perspective. Yeah.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, because there is I guess they can tap out, so they do kind of have a safe word of sorts. It's just their safe word is.
If I don't go to hell, I am definitely going to hell after this. I'll sit there right now.
Well, I'm glad we have it on tape. We have it recorded of your final moment before you knew you were going to hell for sure. That's perfect.
What would be your safe word?
No.
Yep, not in that hole.
My safe word is literally, that's my safe word. It's more of a gag.
It's a safe grunt. Oh, well, I think we'll do one more news story. Let me see if I have a good one.
Hotel and Nutella Part 2.
Yes, that's the one I was going for. What do we got? Okay. No, let's see. We have a dream job offer. There's a website offering a dream job for a holiday-loving person looking to make $1,000 watching 24 Hallmark Christmas movies. CenturyLinkQuote.com said the winning Hallmark dream job applicant will receive $1,000, a streaming service subscription, and a, quote, movie-watching kit, including cookies, cocoa, a mini Christmas tree, and some Hallmark merchandise. We're looking for a lover of all things Christmas, G-rated rom-coms, and too-close-to-home family dramas to watch 24 Hallmark Christmas movies in 12 days, the posting website states. The site says the chosen person will be called upon to document their Christmas movie binge on social media. We want you to have opinions and lots of them. Think of Grumpy Grandpa turning Jolly Santa is a little overdone. Felt the plot was a bit half-baked. Be as honest as possible in your review, it says. So there you go. Is that really a dream job to...
Hell no.
No, that is a nightmare right there. And $1,000 is not worth it. We're talking 24 Hallmark movies in 12 days.
You give me $10 million, I would still not do it.
I would for $10 million.
Oh,
I mean, they're
brainwashing you. At that
well,
point.
yeah, absolutely. But you're going to be $10 million and brainwashed. You might be able to spend some of that to get unbrainwashed back into regular society as you're brainwashed into that.
I know a lot of people who would probably hang out with Michael Jackson over the weekend for $10 million. So if you're telling me all I have to do is watch
and he's
Hallmark
dead,
movies,
so.
well, that's what I'm talking about. You know, you might send 2 helicopters for $10 million. But with that being said, 24 movies, 12 days, so that's 4 hours of just brainwashing. I think I could handle that for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Because they never said you have to do it sober.
It's
Well,
valid.
you see, if you hear the kid, first and foremost, you lost me at G-rated.
And
Number
Right,
two,
right.
you gave me cookies, cocoa, a blanket, and some type of movie watching party. That sounds like the lone poor guy on a Saturday night with no life.
it's the beginning of a
Exactly,
film
yeah.
noir. That's what that is.
Yeah, and if he's watching nothing but G-rated movies, he's probably pretty creepy. He's probably isn't allowed within 100 feet of a school, I would say.
Yeah, you see, they're funding pedophiles.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
not
exactly.
they're
That's
funding pedophiles.
Everybody that signs up for this got arrested.
that's what it is. It's just what's his name from the Chris Hansen shows up. They walk into the room.
Why
There's
don't you have a
Chris
seat?
Hansen.
I'm already sitting down watching. Yeah, exactly. Why don't you have a seat here?
Yeah.
I swear, I thought it was G-rated. I thought it was G-rated.
Oh, that is just so all kinds of wrong, but fantastic. That's what we're about here on the Life. Well, that's the last of our news stories. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up. One more time, Alex, while you're on here, give us your podcast, where we can find you, any social media you want to put out there. Be sure to just whatever you have, just unload it on us, and we'll hopefully gain you a few more listeners.
Excellent. Well, my name is Alex Fleming, and you can watch my show Thursdays at 2 p.m. on Indie Jams Radio if you can't log in to Facebook. If that's not the case, if football's not your flavor, then you can find me at The Magic Perspective on Facebook and YouTube with Eric Wilson. I have some submissions on Podbean. If you rather read than listen, then I recommend the Florida Sun Review or the Florida Sun Review online. Or if you're more of a football guy and you don't want to listen or read the basketball, you can find me on the Bucks Report or the Tampa Bay Bucks Life News or on the Sports Web with Peter Blake. Like I said, I'm a pretty boring guy.
Well, I appreciate you calling into the show and joining us. It's been great talking to you and getting to know you. And I look forward to Eric Wilson is going to be on the show in a couple weeks. I think he's going to be able to get one of the live shows, so we'll have to make sure he doesn't cuss.
Yeah,
like
and
Mike
I won't
did
be there.
earlier.
So
And Mike won't be.
You guys do me a favor when you do have Eric live. Tell him that you had me on the show and tell him that I said fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. All right. I might tell him that myself anyway, because I don't get to watch, but I'm still an Eagles fan at heart.
Oh, they were great today. They only lost by 14.
Oh, perfect. That's usually they start out winning by 14 and lose by 23.
well, we Bengals. I'm going to go home and cry. So never mind.
Oh, that's
talk about the Bengals.
Well, thanks for coming in, Mike. We'll go ahead and wrap up, and you can go home and cry. Did you want to throw out any social media that you have out there, Mike?
I got my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook is Mike WTF Wells.
Yeah. You also have some merch now. You have.
Yeah,
Well, actually, on this episode, since it's not going over the radio, we can say we do.
Yeah,
have
do you have some merch for that thing that's going on?
Merchandise? Merchandise at?
My merchandise. If you look up Mike WTF Wells, comedian, it's on Facebook. I started selling shirts. I had a tweet kind of that went viral, and then from there, it says, "Boss, you got time to lean, you got time to clean," and it says me. If you got time to rhyme, you got time to shut the fuck up. and on Facebook, it got shared like over 250,000 times or something like that. Yeah. It was insane,
crazy. Yeah.
And then so I just kind of make a shirt out of it, did some designs on it and stuff like that. Just because of comics, we travel a lot, so some of the gigs aren't paid that well, so you kind of have to make your money with your merchandise.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. You have merchandise and you're making money. I'm writing my butt off and I'm not making anything.
I never said I was making money.
He's not making much. Do you have any shows coming up, Mike, that you want to plug out there?
I'm doing the Toy Drive show here.
Oh, the Toy Drive. I'll be on the Toy Drive show.
Yeah, I'm doing the Toy
I think
Drive
I might
show.
dress up as Santa
Well, I'm doing that.
and do my same set, only addressed toward Mrs. Claus instead of my real wife.
Doing
ho, ho, ho.
Tomorrow I'm down in Lexington, Broadway, Comedy on Broadway, doing the industry show for America's Got Talent and that type of stuff. So.
Oh, awesome.
So I got to do 3 minutes, which is nothing.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But it's a bunch of us, and that's just more like kind of like a tryout type thing and everything like that. So
Well, good luck with that. Thanks for coming in. Like I said, the first half hour of this show, I would have been completely lost without you. I appreciate you coming in and having my back.
No problem.
And Alex, I appreciate you calling in as well, and I look forward to speaking with you again at some time.
All right, looks great. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep, thank you. Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we are on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM. You can also stream the show live at WWSU1069.org, and we go Facebook Live at the Life Radio Show's Facebook page. If you have suggestions or comments, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
In America, that's called the Taco Bell Big Box.